Hello healers and health seekers, it's me, Ichoda, healing with medical medium information for 4 years and 2 months now. I am healing from mast cell activation disorder, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS dysautonomia, hypothyroid, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, PCOS, migraines, systemic exertion intolerance disorder, SIBO, gastroparesis, and a whole host of other symptoms and conditions, like way too many to sit here and list. That would be a whole video. In fact, it was 3 videos. I did 3 videos about symptoms and conditions I've healed, and the links to those videos are in the description box below, along with like my healing story and all the other stuff. So if you want to go down a rabbit hole of who am I, that is where to go. Description box below. But today, it is time for What's Up a Wednesday, W-H-E-N, because when is Ichoda ever going to make another video? We don't even know. I don't know. It's also a victory check video because I don't think I'll have time to shoot more than one. So hashtag victory check. Ichoda is way too busy to make a video. What is my life? And I say that in the best possible way, because if I've been too busy to make a video, it means my healing has gone up notches, because what on earth that I could possibly be too busy to make a video? That's unheard of, because I always have to kind of take it easy, which means I always kind of have room in my life to make videos and edit them. But not lately at all. I've been so busy, it's just unheard of. It's a whole new thing. Okay, so you know about my garden, and you know, I think the last time I did a video, I was talking about that I was planting seeds for the fall garden, right? So for my container garden. And also, I haven't had any time. I have a queue of garden videos that need to be edited and uploaded. And I haven't had time to do that either. Just no time for any of it. So I don't even know where to start. Okay, so I am currently on round 8 of the Medical Medium 369 Advanced Cleanse from the Cleanse to Healing book. I am on, as I filmed this video, I am on day 7, which means I go up to 2 celery juices a day. And just so that you know what's going on food-wise, I'll just tell you what I eat. Every day I eat the same thing. Now, there are options in the 369 cleanse for different lunches. There are options for different dinners. Because I have been busy lately and there's been a lot to do, I just like to pick something that's the easier thing and stick with it and just do that every day, because it's simpler for me. Because in addition to making my food, I make food for my son, and often I make food for my husband as well. Because my husband's been so busy with his work lately, even though he works from home, he hasn't even had time to come out of like meetings and work stuff to make his own celery juice and smoothies, and I can't have him just running on adrenaline, so I'll do it for him. So and then there's my son, and he does make his own lemon water and celery juice, but I do his smoothie. I cook his food. I cook food for both of them. Okay. What I've been eating. Oh, right. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So what I've been eating. So for the cleanse, I just have every morning 32 ounces of lemon water when I wake up. Half hour later, I have 32 ounces of celery juice. Half hour after that, I have the heavy metal detox smoothie. And then sometime after that, whenever I'm hungry, I will eat 1 or 2 apples. Then I will eat the spinach soup for lunch, usually. And every once in a while, I will have the option of the liver rescue smoothie for lunch, but I really actually find that I prefer the spinach soup, just for how I feel when I eat it. So spinach soup for lunch, and then at some point after that, 1 or 2 apples, usually 1. And for dinner, I will have the kale salad option, but I blend it mostly. I blend everything except for the cucumbers and the asparagus, and I dice the asparagus and do the cucumbers into noodles because I found that that's faster than dicing the cucumbers. I was dicing them, but noodles are faster, so I just do the fastest thing to get the cucumbers in there. And I blend the rest of it. And I've been growing tomatoes and peppers in my garden, so that has been going in there as part of the recipe. Delicious. And so that's what I have for dinner. And I honestly, one of the reasons I do the kale soup is because it is honestly my favorite thing of the options. And the second reason, the kale soup / salad. And the second reason is because it is quick to make, probably because I've made it so many times and I have a system down to where I do it, the way I do it. So I just know what to do, throw it all in there, blend it and go. But I love it. It's so good. So I have that. And after dinner, I just have the 16 ounces of lemon water, and I'll have my tea. And usually the tea I have lemon balm because I'm growing lemon balm right now, so I have it fresh. It is the best ever. I thought I liked lemon balm tea before when I had only ever had it dried, but growing my own and tasting what it tastes like when you brew it from fresh leaves. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so good. It's so good. So occasionally if I'm hungry after dinner, I'll have an apple or two, usually one. But most of the time I'm just at that point, it's kind of like it's time for bed. And so I will have my tea and then I'll get ready for bed. And that's it. That's what I eat every day. It does not vary. Occasionally also for the tea, I will have chaga if I am too tired to go outside and pick lemon balm because I've waited too long to do it. Now, in between all the food every day, I'm super proud of myself because I have been getting the foods in no problem, like every day. Like that's just part of my routine now. It's what I do. And the other part of that is, so the round 7, when I did round 7 of the cleanse, and none of my rounds have been consecutive. I think maybe two of them were consecutive. But for the most part, all the other ones have been, I'll do a round, I'll have a break for like a day or a few days or whatever, I'll do another round. And what's happened is this last time, I did take a few days break in between rounds. And I would sort of have cooked food for dinner, but I just found that my body was just like, it's like I think I want the cooked food because the smell of it, like I like the smell of it, and I think I want to eat it, but when I eat it, it just doesn't feel as good. And so I thought, okay, well, I don't have to eat cooked food, I could eat all raw. And I was eating a lot of watermelon because it's summer and I want to eat all the watermelon that I can. But I found that was actually too cleansing and it made me all gurgly all the time. And I was like, okay, this is too much. And I'm like, what my body really wants is the 3-6-9 cleanse. It just wants to do that because when I eat those foods, my digestion goes back to like a stasis kind of level. I mean, it's not always because sometimes, it's things are being pulled out in the cleanse, but it just goes back to sort of a more normal, predictable level. And my body just feels better. I have more energy. I just feel better in general. I don't feel sluggish. I feel less brain fogged. I feel more alert. I have more energy throughout the day. My energy is more consistent. And so this time when I restarted the 3-6-9, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do what my body wants. I keep thinking I want to break because I keep thinking I want to eat cooked food, but every single time that I do, I'm just like one meal is fine. Like I'll take a break and then I won't even have cooked food until dinner on the day of the break because I want to go, I still want to have my spinach soup and my apple and, everything else in the morning. And so I don't even have the potatoes or whatever. It's always potatoes. Not or whatever. It's just always potatoes. It's me and potatoes have a love affair. But then when I eat them, I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. Okay, now let's go back into it. So maybe that's what I'll do at some point is just kind of take a one day one meal break every now and again and do it like that. But for now, I decided that because my body seems to be so much happier on the 369 Advanced Cleanse, I'm just going to do it for at the very least a month, 30 days, and which would be 3 rounds of the 369 plus a 789 round, which I will do at the end, because every time I've done the 789 round, it's been a little too intense for me. So I'm like, well, maybe if I do 3 rounds of the advance, I'll be able to handle a 789 round. It'll be an experiment and we'll find out at the end. But so at this point it's round 8, non-consecutive, but it's like the first round of this month, this 30-day stint that I'm doing. So that's what I'm doing with that. And if you're wondering what do you mean by like your body prefers it? Like, what does that look like? Because that's such a vague thing to say, and I get that. So what it means is, well, I did say partly, I have more energy. I feel better. My head is clearer. I can think more clearly. I feel more creative. I want to do more things. I have been doing more things. I have more energy to do more things. I like the structure of it. I really enjoy the structure, because it's like, no, I have to make sure that I eat these certain foods throughout the day. And that just really works for me. I just like that. I like, okay, I need to make sure I get this in and this in and this in it. And that keeps me eating very consistently, which supports my adrenals much better than I kind of do on my own. I'm embarrassed to say, but it's true. I mean, it's just a fact. Like, if I am just sort of left to my own devices and I have to sort of think about what I'm going to eat, I'm just like, and then I kind of a lot of times end up like, I don't feel like making something, so I just don't, or like I just go too long between eating sometimes. Not too long, but too long. And the other part of that is this cleanse is from above. Like, this cleanse wasn't man-made. It's not something, and when I'm making up what I eat, it's man-made. I'm just a person, and this cleanse comes from above. Like, this is what the body wants. This supports the liver. It heals the liver, and that's what I want. I want my body to get the most optimal healing, and it does. Oh boy, does it. So like, the edema in my body goes down, the pain in my body disappears again. I lose weight every single round of the cleanse. I like knock wood saying that, because it's like, well, what if I don't one round and then it'll be like, oh, so you don't, whatever. But no, it doesn't matter, because I just feel so good. It's just kind of like, I don't have to think about what am I going to eat, because it's just laid out for me. And I can switch it up if I want to, because there are substitution options and there are actually other meal options. It's just that I'm not sick of the kale soup yet. Slash salad. It's called kale salad in the book. I have created it into a soup, but I'm not sick of it yet. So I'm fine, because part of me is just like, well, I want to make sure that I eat as many of the peppers that I grew as possible myself. And I mean, the tomatoes are no problem. I'm eating those anyway, and then the other thing about it is, because I'm doing successive rounds, like if I don't do a day perfectly, like last night I was too tired to make the tea and I didn't. I went to bed without the tea. Like, I'm not going to be mad at myself or be like, oh, I didn't do the cleanse perfectly, because I'm like, I'm just on the cleanse now. Like, it's just part of things. So if a little thing here and there, it's just like, whatever, just keep going. No big deal. And I like that. Again, it's really nice to not have pain in my body. It's really nice to just feel lighter overall and just know that I'm fully supporting my body. I just feel good. You can tell. I know you can tell. If you've watched my videos before, like, you are looking at me right now going, she's feeling good. Because I am. So I have zero complaints about it. Like, if I have a day where my digestion is different, or things are off, or like stuff is coming out of me more than normal, like, or more than what is regular for me, I don't mind, because it just means extra detox. Like, I'm like, oh, that just means, there's more stuff that needs to come out, and I just am happy about that. And if I do have some kind of a little flare or something, or some symptoms come up, like sometimes I get like little pimples on my chin, which Oh, isn't that cute? Because my whole face used to be broken out all the time. And so I'm just like, great. It's just stuff is coming out of my liver. And I couldn't be happier about that. Okay, so I'm doing the cleanse and I'm doing rounds of it. And what has kept me so busy, in addition to making all the food, and that's the thing, is I have the energy to make my family's food and other food for people and be up later and do stuff like that. Like, I've just had the energy to do it. It's just been more consistent for me. And recently, in addition to the excitement of like the seedlings and stuff like that, a new exciting thing happened. And on my milkweed that I planted outside, the swamp milkweed, I found monarch eggs. Now, I saw the monarch, I saw her and her mate out there, and I saw them like swirling up in the air, and which I assume is part of their mating thing. And I saw them and I was like, oh my goodness. And I had just just before that had learned about, there's a guy so I'm on that app called Nextdoor, where you can sort of know your neighbors and chat with your neighbors and ask people for referrals for things. And, hey, did you hear that noise in the neighborhood? Does anyone know what's going on here? Hey, I lost my keys. Has anyone seen them? Oh, my dog got loose. Like, it's stuff like that, Nextdoor. But we have like a gardening group that I'm a part of, and we share pictures of our gardens and stuff like that. And one of the people who I am just like so happy to be in a general vicinity of, he has this amazing garden. He said that it takes 2 hours to show people his garden. I keep meaning to get there, but I've been busy. So he raises the monarch eggs and tags the monarchs to help track them and their migration patterns for this project that the name is escaping me right now. But so he tags the monarchs, and he's been sharing pictures about it and talking about it, in the gardening group and online, in general and Nextdoor. And so he was doing it. So I had suddenly become aware of it, and I was interested in it. So I was watching some YouTube videos about like, oh, what is this, and raising monarchs. And so then I knew from that stuff how to identify a monarch egg on my plant. And when I went out there and I found some eggs, I was beyond excited. So I was like, I want to do that. I want to, raise up some baby caterpillars and, watch them grow and like feed them and stuff like that. So I did it. I brought in some of the leaves that had eggs. Now, my milkweed is not that big. And so I was concerned that it wouldn't be enough for the caterpillars, because I did find, I found several eggs, but I also found 7 caterpillars, and I brought them in as well, because part of the reason people do it, now I've since learned there's kind of a controversy about it, but part of the reason people do bring the caterpillars inside is because they have a 10%, I don't know if this is still the case, but like in 2014 they had like a 10% chance of survival outside in the wild because of predators and not enough milkweed. So people bring them inside to raise them and help them so that they can protect them from the predators. But you also have to consider that their natural environment is the outside. So a lot of people have like the enclosures out of doors, but still protecting them and stuff like that. But then when you do that, you've got to feed them too, and make sure that you are like cleaning up their areas and stuff like that, and cleaning up the frass, which is the poop and the debris that they exude, which is a lot, because all that they do is just eat. Anyway, so it's a big job. It's bigger than you think. And so it's bigger than I thought. And I've raised caterpillars before, but it's just been the kind where they like send you the little tub of food and the eggs, or it's the little tub of food with the caterpillars inside, and then you just feed them, and then when they get big enough, like you have like an orange slice in there, and then you let them go. Like it's really not work at all. You just kind of watch them. Well, it's different with these guys, because you do have to really I mean, other than like cleaning up their poop, like that's the only work. Like these guys, you do need to make sure, especially because I only had the one little plant. So suddenly I was like, oh, I need to find more milkweed so that I make sure that there's enough to feed these guys. Because I just don't think my plant would have been enough. Even if I had pulled up the whole thing and fed them the whole thing, I kind of don't think it would have been enough for them. Although the mama monarch who laid her eggs on it seemed to think it was fine. She might know better than me. Anyway, so what I did was I ended up finding a plant for them, but all of this stuff kind of involved like checking, like going to places and checking places, and I don't leave my house a lot. So that was like a break in my routine, and trying to like make sure that I could do it at a time, between the times that I was making food, and it was all very tricky, but I did it. Like we went to one place, I went by myself to one place, couldn't find any milkweed there. And then after work, my husband went with me because he had to go to Costco anyway. And I'm like, oh, we'll just do the whole thing, because the place we were going to look. So I got tips online. I found, and plus the other thing is like doing a bunch of research for this, making sure that I was prepared and knew what to do and didn't screw this up. So I was doing a bunch of research, and then also there's like groups online, and then I have a native plant swap group online, and a native plant swap group is a great place to ask, hey, where's their milkweed? Because milkweed is a native plant. And so people were giving me suggestions for milkweed close to my area, and one of the suggestions did pan out and worked out perfectly, and we were able to get like a whole plant actually, and put it in their little enclosure. Anyway, so I've been really busy with that. And what else? The seedlings are sprouting like crazy, and I need to get to them, but I have not even had time to get to them. They're like way taller than the sort of like terrarium lid. They grew so fast this time. They just flew up, and I'm like, wait, don't slow down, because I got other stuff. So again, they're kind of weedy. I think that light that I have maybe is not powerful enough or something, because it's like they grow, but they just grow tall and thin. And anyway, it was like a really inexpensive light, so I have a feeling that probably just is not powerful enough. So I need to deal with the seedlings. I've been thinning out and dealing with kind of like the seasons are changing, and so we're getting ready to change. And so the tomatoes are kind of not as producing as prolifically. So there have been a few plants that I've been able to pull out, and I just even did a few more today. So I'm sort of thinning the tomato forest, and I've been really busy. Well, and then I got a new phone, and I usually use Android, and it's an iPhone, and that's been a whole thing, and even trying to figure out the service, and it needs a different SIM card, and so to order that, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, all of these sort of little things just keep coming up where it's like, oh, and this, oh, and this, oh, and this, oh, and this. And I've been like, okay. Oh, and there's a bluebird. I saw a bluebird outside. Yes. Right outside my window, there was just a bluebird. Okay. And the other thing is we had a contractor come in and do a bid, because there's just a few things just all around the whole house, like upstairs and downstairs. My son and I pretty much occupy, and kind of my husband occupies both floors, but my son and I pretty much occupy the downstairs. My in-laws occupy the upstairs. Anyway, we made their wet bar into a kitchen, and a makeshift kitchen, and until we find a house, and the bar sink is just too small. Like it's such a pain to wash the dishes in, and so we're gonna have a contractor come in and put a bigger sink and replace the faucet as well, and the faucet in the bathroom, and the fan in the bathroom. There's just things that are broken that need replacing. A light fixture down here, a couple of light switches, and some stuff upstairs as well. Anyway, so we had to have a contractor come and do a bid for all of that, and he's gonna tell, we just have to get the stuff, and then he'll come back and do that. So it's just like dealing with that, trying to make sure we get the right things, and it's been a lot. Because the cool thing is so we can source the materials, and then he just charges us for the labor that involves, you know, putting it together, as opposed to having to get it and all that stuff too. But it's taking us a minute. So that is what has been, all of these things have been keeping me busy lately. It's kind of like one thing pops up and then another thing pops up and then another thing pops up. And I'm like, what happened to my sloth/turtle life that I was living before, where it was just like, just everything in its own time and all chill and stuff. And it's like, suddenly I'm like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. But the amazing thing about all of it is that I have been able to. It hasn't been taking me out. It hasn't been keeping me down. It hasn't been draining me. It hasn't been overwhelming. Which, like, if you knew where I'd come from, like any of the, I couldn't have handled one of these things. No way. I don't even know where to start with this, is why I keep tripping up on my words. No way I could have taken on these caterpillars. No way. Because it's been babysitting them, it's been sourcing food for them, it's been a whole thing. No way I could have taken on something like that. Like, even, I don't know, a couple years ago. Like, I would not have had the mental capacity for it, or the physical capacity for any of that. And the garden even, and having just all of these things, and being able to do not just one of them, but like multiple things. And because of all of these things, I've been just too busy to make a video. I have not had time to be sitting down and editing anything, because it's like I finish one thing and then it's like, oh, now I have to do this. Oh, now I have to do this. Now I have to do this. Now I have to do this. Because I still have to stay on top of like folding clothes and putting laundry away and washing the dishes and making all the food. And it's like all of that stuff. And I've been venturing out of the house a little bit more. We don't go a lot of places, but things like grocery shopping and stuff like that. My husband usually does it all, but he's just seeming like he's got so much going on lately. Oh, and also in all of this, my son, we've been, tutoring him and helping him. We kind of unschool, but we've been helping him. He wants to go to college, right? So we're trying to prepare him for that. So we've been trying to get him up to speed with those things. And my husband has been dedicating a lot of time to that, because with me making all the food and stuff, it's been really hard for me to sort of get to it. Plus my son kind of prefers my husband's style, I think, and prefers to work with him. So that's fine. So they've been working together, and then they usually do it for like a stint of like from 7 to 10 at night, and I go to bed at 10. So I'm not seeing a lot of my husband lately. So I thought, well, maybe if I can, start doing some grocery shopping or something. I don't know. We'll see. And not occasionally, once in the past how many months, there was a house that we actually went and looked at, and no, there's just nothing coming on the market. So that's why part of the reason that it's like, can we see what we can do to make this space a little more workable for us? Anyway. So yeah, that's why I've been too busy to make a video, but that is my hashtag victory check, too busy to make a video. Every day, I think about you guys, I think about making a video, and I think about like, I want to say that I haven't been able to even post. I have made a couple posts about the caterpillars on Instagram, but I have all these posts in my head that I actually want to make about doing the cleanse and my healing journey, and I haven't been able to sit down and do those or check Instagram, or I try to answer my DMs, but that's like the only thing that I've been able to do on Instagram, and I haven't even been able to answer all my DMs. I have comments I haven't responded to on here, and that's unheard of, because I always respond to my comments. Sometimes it takes me a minute, but I'm just like, what is this life? What is this? Suddenly I'm busy. Who? It's so new to me. I'm still like, I don't live a busy life ever. I'm My vibe is turtle / sloth. Like slow and steady wins the race. That's how I roll. That's how I stroll. Okay, I'm not I'm not trying to be in a hurry ever, or running around or rushing around or overwhelmed by anything. And I'm not overwhelmed. It's exciting actually. Oh, another thing I did, this is another victory check. There is a really steep hill behind our house, and where we're staying. There's a really steep hill behind this house, and at the bottom of it, there's this wooded area, and there's woods, and if you go back into the woods, there's a creek and everything. And someone suggested there might be honey vine, which is another kind of milkweed that the monarchs love. And I saw the monarchs land on a tree area that looked like it had something viney in it. And I thought, oh, I wonder if that's honey vine. Now, I need glasses. I need glasses two kind of ways. I can't see things really close up, and I can't see things really far away. And most of the time in the house, I don't wear glasses because I don't need them in the house. Like, things are slightly blurry, but I don't, anyway, I wasn't wearing my glasses, so I couldn't really see. So I was like, I'm just going to go down the hill and check, because even with my glasses, I probably wouldn't be able to tell anyway. I needed to get close up enough to see what the viney thing was. So I walked down that hill. I took off I was like, okay, I'm going to need my shoes for grip, because it's quite a steep hill. It's quite a steep hill. And it's not something that a year ago or a couple years ago, there's no way I would have even considered or thought that I could do it. But I knew that I could do it. I didn't even worry. I didn't have my phone with me or anything. I was just like, it's fine. And I walked down there and I checked it out. And it wasn't honey vine. It was a grapevine of some kind. No grapes though, just the vine. Oddly. I don't know. Maybe I should have looked harder, because once I realized it was a grapevine, I was like, I wonder if there's grapes. I should go see if there's grapes, but I'll have to walk down the hill again. But I walked down the hill and made it back up the hill, this really steep hill. I just went really slow, because I was like, okay, obviously I don't want to fall. The grass was kind of wet because of the dew on the grass. And so, because it was really early in the morning. But so I just kind of slowly, made my way down the hill, and then I slowly made my way back up the hill, kind of even more slowly, because it was a little bit trickier to sort of grip to go back up. But I did it, and I got to the top of the hill, and I was like, yes, I did this. I was so excited. I was like, yeah, no, Rocky theme. And hey, Sylvester Stallone follows medical medium. So anyway, but it was so cool, because I was like, oh my gosh, I did that. Woo. Anyway, I'm just feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm able to do more things. And this cleanse is, if you've not done the 369 cleanse yet, what are you waiting for? Seriously. Because it is it's a powerful cleanse, and you don't have to do the advanced if you're not ready for it. Just whatever version of the 369 cleanse, or even any other cleanse and cleanse to heal. It's such an amazing book. There's so much great information in it, and it's like, if you haven't read any of the other books, any of the other medical medium books, you can start with Cleanse to Heal and be fine. You'll have the information that you need. Now, the angels aren't in that book. They're in the first book, and Life-Changing Foods. But there's so much in there that it really gives you a good foundation to start from. It's amazing. And it's a good springboard. Like, it's a really good springboard. And anyway, I love all the different cleanses and all the different versions. And I keep saying I want to do a mono cleanse, but my body likes the 369 cleanse so much that I'm like, well, maybe after this month of 369, maybe I'll try a mono cleanse. But right now, I'm just all about this 369 life, the advanced 369. That's all I want to do. All right, that is my update, my healers and health seekers. I would love to hear how you're doing. And if it takes me a while to respond, just please forgive me. I promise this is all going to slow down at some point, and I will be able to get back in a routine with my videos again. Also, it's just been tricky. It's just been tricky with sleeping schedules and finding the space and finding the time in between the foods and all the stuff that I have to do. So forgive me. Please stay with me. Please stay subscribed. Please keep watching when I do make videos. Well, that's up to you, really. It's whatever you're drawn to do, but I love having you here. I love having you guys on my journey with me. I love answering questions about your journeys and trying to help anybody with the healing information, help them understand it, whatever. I love interacting with you. And like I said, I want to hear about how you're doing. Tell me how you're doing. And I hope things are going okay for you. I hope you're okay. I wish you so many blessings on your continued healing journey. I forgot to say, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button over there, or ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post a new video. Like I always say, I recommend the notification bell because I am so inconsistent with my schedule, and I am told that often people don't even get notified anyway. So check back often? I don't know. YouTube. You know how it is. I love you. I wish you so many blessings on your continued healing journey. Remember to always stay curious. Remember that you can heal. I will see you next time, which hopefully is soon. Bye-bye.